Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden. Did you guys think we were done with the top 10s just because I got a 350Z? Nah boy, nah. We're still doing the top 10s. The top 10s are still going strong. And today we're doing top 10 cars under 20k. Last time we did top 10 cars under 25k. Today we're doing 20. Next we're going to be doing 15, then 10, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do a big series about all this, so hopefully you guys stick around, subscribe to the channel so you guys can see the rest of them. I just want to say really quickly that if I get anything wrong in this video and you know that I got it wrong, like I made a mistake about a Mustang a couple of videos ago, leave it in the comments and I'll do the heart on the comment. Because there are a lot of cars on this list that I don't know much about. I have to do my research and I could always get something wrong or misread something, just so you guys know. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get into. Alright, 10th place is the 10th Gen Civic SI, and it came with a 1.5 liter inline 4 that made 205 horses, and it was obviously front wheel drive like every single other Civic ever built. It seems to me like Honda realized they found a great formula for a good commuter car that's still a lot of fun, and they ran with it over the years. I'm saying every Civic from the EG up to now has been front wheel drive with a pretty small engine and it's naturally aspirated. And so they make these minor changes every generation just to keep making their cars a little bit better, and they don't stop. They just keep getting better from there. They've had a great formula and now they're just getting better. That's the best way I can put it. The Civic is an obvious choice when talking about a good first car that's reliable, but the Civic Si is a great choice when talking about a first car that's reliable, but you also are a car guy who wants to have fun. 9th place is the BMW M3 E46, coming with a 3.2 liter straight six, making 333 horsepower. And it was rear wheel drive, which is always a plus in my book. I love rear wheel drive, but that's personal opinion. This generation of M3 is considered by many as the last true M car. To be honest, I don't really understand that. I think a lot of the newer generation M cars are still very good, but the E46, I do understand what they mean. It was the last one that felt like you're actually, in control of the car. Every other car now is kind of getting taken over by technology, and it doesn't feel like you don't get that connection anymore, if that makes any sense. But anyway, if you want one of these cars, now is the time to get it. If you look on Facebook Marketplace, the M3 E46 is it's probably around like 15 grand to 19 grand for a good one, and it's not going to get any lower than that. If anything, it's just going to go up. So if you want one of these cars, get it now. 8th place is the Ford Focus RS, coming with a 2.3 liter EcoBoost inline 4, making 350 horsepower, and it was all-wheel drive. That's a pretty bargain deal if you ask me. I mean, 350 horsepower and all-wheel drive for under $20,000. Also, it was a freaking hatchback too, so you could fit all your like Guitar Hero guitars in the back of it. You can do whatever you want in that hatchback. The fact that it has that hatch mixed with the all-wheel drive capability makes this a pretty great daily commuter as well, just like the Civic Si. Now most people who actually do buy these cars don't daily drive them, since they're babies and they tend to baby them like poop. But to me, I've never really liked hot hatches, but this one is a pretty hot hatch. It's like the Mount Vesuvius of hatches. 7th place is the 5th generation Chevrolet Camaro SS, coming with a 6.2 liter V8, making 426 horsepower, and it was, of course, the all-American rear-wheel drive, baby. Being the legend that the Camaro is, and with their rivals over at Ford making a new Mustang, Chevy was like, yo, why don't we bring back our little boy, the Camaro? And boy, did they do a good job. Not with the V6 Camaro. Let's just forget about that one. But with the LS3 V8, that was such a freaking beast of an engine. It's still being swapped into cars all the time today, and making that high of horsepower for a car that you can now find under 20k. That's a pretty freaking good deal. It's also a Camaro, so be ready for all the hate from all the Dodge and Ford guys and them wanting to race you all the time. But still, man, you got a Camaro. 6th place is the Audi S5 B7. Now, I could be wrong with the lettering on the B, but you guys will be able to tell what one I'm talking about based off of the images here. But it came with a 4.2 liter V8, making 354 horsepower, my bad. And it was, of course, all-wheel drive, since it's an Audi and they just love their Quattro all-wheel drive system. But this car is more for the guy who just wants to roll up in style and class, but still be able to be able to take a Civic to a nice family outing at Applebee's. The Audi fan base and community has always been kind of small though, so keep that in mind. Don't expect to have a blast when modifying this car. Don't expect to know how to do everything, and don't expect to be able to look it up and just figure it out when you're in a bit of a pickle, because the Audi community is very small, and the people that do own Audis usually just take them to the shop because of how intricate and insane the Audi engineering actually is. That's kind of a good thing if you really think about it, because that just shows how good the engineers over at Audi are, but at the same time it makes it a lot harder for you to actually work on it. Fifth place is another big old American boy, the Dodge Charger SRT 392, coming with a 6.4 liter V8 that made 485 horsepower. This is the highest amount of horsepower on this list. There's a reason that this car is always doing donuts at those. You ever see those videos of the takeover, like supercar suspects or anything like that at the takeover events? It's always Chargers. It's Dodge Chargers and Challengers are always the ones doing it, and it's because it's freaking rear-wheel drive and has 4 doors, so they can swing it while all 4 of their friends are hanging out the doors like the Suicide Squad or something. I don't know. I never watched the Suicide Squad. I saw the trailer, saw the Joker hanging off the side of a car, thought it would fit in there. But all jokes aside, this is a great bang for your buck kind of car for almost anything. Not really daily driving, but everything else is a pretty good deal. It does have the 4 doors though, so if you are going to take it daily driving, it's possible, and you can bring your kids to soccer practice in the Dodge Charger SRT 392. Not the best choice, but it can be done. Besides that, I mean, it looks a lot better than the Camaro SS or Challenger to me. That's really the reason why I put it this high on the list, and it has the 4 doors going for it, so that's pretty good. Fourth place is the Porsche 911 996, coming with a 3.6 liter twin turbocharged flat 6, making 456 horsepower. And yes, it was rear-wheel drive, but it was also an extremely dangerous rear-wheel drive since it was rear engine as well. It had a lot of oversteer, just like the Toyota MR2. That combo kind of caused people not to really know how to drive these cars, and it caused a lot of accidents. So if you're going to buy a Porsche 911, just make sure that you drive it safe at first. It's definitely not a good daily driver. It's a Porsche. Nobody really daily drives a Porsche, so just keep that in mind. Make sure you have another car. This car, if you live in a snowy area, yeah, it will pretty much be a death sentence. But besides all that scariness, it's a freaking Porsche 911. You know how many people get to say they own a Porsche 911 in their lives? Not a lot of people. So you being one of those guys definitely makes this car worth the money for under 20K. But third place is the Subaru WRX STi Stinkeye, coming with a 2.5 liter turbocharged flat 4 baby, making 305 horsepower. And yes, it was obviously Subaru spec all-wheel drive. I don't think, has Subaru ever made a car that isn't all-wheel drive? Leave in the comments below if they made a rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive vehicle. I don't, well, oh no, the BRZ. Yeah, the BRZ is rear-wheel drive. Anyway, Subaru has always been the name when it comes to the whole good daily drivability, but also being fun mixed in there, if you know what I mean. Like they've always gotten that right when it comes to the Subaru WRX. You can see people daily driving the WRXs all the time, and it's good reason. They're fun cars that are still really good gas mileage and really good just for driving around. You got your 4 doors that you need, you have your all-wheel drive that you need, you have a good ride height at stock height. Not a lot of people keep stock though, let's be honest, but it sounds great and it's a lot of fun to drive. Second is a bit of an oddball. I love these cars though. It's the Mark 6 Volkswagen Golf R, coming with a 2 liter turbocharged inline 4 that made 256 horsepower. And it was freaking all-wheel drive, baby. Who would have thought that the front-wheel drive hatchback kings, GTI, could switch over to all-wheel drive like that, and they make an even better car. It blew my mind when I found out that this car was under $20,000. A GTI has always been everybody's go-to Volkswagen. They always buy the GTI, and they're like, yeah, it's a great car. And it is a great car, but the Golf R is a step better. It's not front-wheel drive now. Now it's all-wheel drive. It's awesome to me that they even did this and built this car, and they're not stopping either. The Mark 7 generation had it as well. I'm sure the Mark 8 will have it as well. So no, this car isn't the fastest on the list, and it certainly isn't the great for your everyday driving due to, you know, Volkswagen, but their all-wheel drive platform and the amount of power that they have, and just the sheer like aspect of a Volkswagen that's all-wheel drive blew me away, so I had to put it here on second. But there's only one car that I think beats it, and it's the Infiniti Q60 that came with a 3 liter twin turbocharged V6 that made 400 horsepower on the diddly dot. and you got the choice. That's what really made this awesome for me. You had the choice. Did you want it rear-wheel drive and be a drifty boy, or do you want it all-wheel drive and have good gas mileage and be fast in a straight line? I know what you're thinking. All right, I know what you're thinking. Mark, this is too good to be true. These cars are amazingly beautiful and fast for only 20K. No way. Get out of here, Mark. And you're semi-right. You're semi-right. You can find a slower model with less horsepower. It goes down to 300 horsepower. You can find one of those for under 20K all day. But the ones that we're talking about here, they can be found under 20K, my bad. But it's going to be hard. You're going to have to look very hard. It's going to take you a long time, but eventually one will dip under that 20K, and that's when you're going to want to snag it. They're a lot of fun, these cars. I know a couple of people who own them, and they love them. They can't do anything except for recommend them to people. They also have 2 turbos, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, it's just kind of something about me. I've always liked Nissans and Infinitis, so I just had to put it at number 1. Alrighty, but that is the end of this list, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, smack that like button. Smack it so hard. Just destroy it. And also subscribe to the channel, please. We're making videos like this all the time. I also just got a Nissan 350Z that I'm going to be building up, so I hope you guys stick around for that. Right now, we're kind of in the slow process. I'll give you guys a little update. If you watched it this far, then that means that you're probably a fan of the channel, so you probably care about what the Nissan 350Z is going through. So I'll give you an update real quick. 350Z is in limp mode, and we're trying to figure out what's wrong with it. We just replaced the connector, and now we're trying to get to the wiring, see if any of the wiring is messed up. And if that's the case, hopefully we just fix that and it fixes the problem. But it's taking a while. It's taking longer than I wanted it to, but it's okay. It'll be up soon. The car will be driving soon. I hope you guys are enjoying that whole little mini series. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. SmoothStance hoodies and SmoothStance website will be up shortly. We're getting new shirts and all this stuff that we're going to be putting on the website, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys. Das Vidania. Have a nice day.